Kia ora, Aotearoa. And we see this next weather system approaching the country, and with it an increase in cloud, increase in wind, and of course that heavy rain starting to set up in the west of the country. For other places, a lot more sunshine, especially in these eastern places. But back to that weather system, it is bringing that possibility of heavy rain, the heaviest of that rain expected in the ranges of Westland, but even away from the ranges, places along the coast, for example, under that orange warning, could still see those high accumulations, and of course those places under those heavy rain watches. Additionally, we're also expecting some strong winds in places, the South Island, especially those inland places, but also for the lower North Island. So more details on these are available on metservice.com. So having a look at what we're expecting the rest of today, that weather system approaches, that rain starting to increase along the west. But for the rest of us, things actually remaining pretty settled, except for that wind, of course, especially over the South Island and the lower North Island. And that continues into the overnight period as well. That cloud starting to increase, and we see that in the temperatures as well. A bit of a mixed bag in terms of temperatures. Still some cool spots in parts of the South Island, Queenstown at 2, but elsewhere, Christchurch 8 degrees, not too bad. In the North Island, still quite, also a mixed bag out that side. Some double-digit temperatures, but still some chilly spots like Taupo at 2 degrees. So looking ahead to Friday, again, that low pressure system with the weather system moving slowly up the country. It is a slow moving system delivering heavy rain all along the west and strong winds for many of us. Plenty of cloud to talk about as well. So let's take a closer look at the North Island. We see this northerly flow, and as we've seen in the Bay of Plenty, Whakaari White Island has been quite active recently, so some of that ash could be visible in the sky over the next coming days. But in general, some showery conditions expected, just a few showers, mostly cloudy conditions. By the end of the day, however, we see that heavy rain starting to set up in the west. We saw those watches for Taranaki and the Tararua ranges for heavy rain. In the east, the day starts out not too bad, some sunshine, but as the day goes on, some cloud pushing in and even some rain in parts of Hawke's Bay and the Wairarapa. Then looking at the temperatures, not looking too bad, especially in the east where there is more sunshine. Napier going up to 19 degrees on Friday, and not too far away, 17 in Gisborne. Other parts of the country still a little bit chilly, in Taupo at 13 degrees. Then looking down at the South Island, that westerly, northwesterly flow means wet in the west, a little bit drier in the east for the bulk of the day, but then that rain moving onto the area. Just a few spots along the coast, but inland Canterbury could see some more rainfall. As the system continues to move northwards, it does start to clear behind it. So by the end of the day, Southland, Otago, we do start to see a bit of a clearance in that weather. And in terms of the temperatures, we see that in the east, those temperatures still in the mid-teens, not too bad for this time of year. And inland areas maybe a little bit chillier, around 11 degrees. And down south, not a bad story at 16. Then looking ahead into Saturday, into the weekend, that system finally makes its way onto the North Island and moves across quite slowly. That possible heavy rain for those places that we saw. And behind it, we see a general clearance. However, there could still be some lingering spots for the North Island. In the South Island, however, a drier story, and that is until this westerly flow sets up across the South Island, bringing that renewed chance of some rain and showers that continues into Saturday, especially as that next weather system approaches. But for the North Island, things much more settled compared to what we'll see in the next few days. That's all I have for you for now. Ma te wa.